This meeting is now being recorded.
Yeah, hello, good morning, good afternoon to everybody to this new episode of the XStepCafe. I'm happy that you found your way here, and there's some nice music from somebody. That's interesting. Not sure who that is. So I can mute that one here.
Irgendwie. Das ist munter.
So, right, so music is gone, so I hope it won't reappear. Okay, so we've got again some presentation from Uwe. Thanks a lot, Uwe, that you prepared something. One request from my side to the participants: there's some noise going on. Please, if you mute your phone, so that in the recording we don't have any weird sounds. If you don't do it, I can also do it. But I'd rather have it that you do it on your own, so that you have your own control. Okay, so then I pass it on to Uwe, and it's all yours.
Okay, hello. Just try to share the screen. Okay. And hopefully you're seeing the PowerPoint slide in full screen mode. Okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So today I want to, let's say, make the next steps a little bit more technical stuff. We heard about body monitoring, the business add-in monitoring last time, and there were some discussion about the possibility of having own actions and activities as context menu entries for the Xstep Repository. And indeed, there is a business add-in body that is CMX, XSR, SRV, XSV, and I'll show you how you can create your own implementation to this body that offers you the possibility in the Xstep repository to execute additional actions. So this is the only and first agenda of my contribution to the XStepCafe. And if we have a, let's say, little bit technical look on the main steps, then afterwards I will just show you what we would like to implement, and show then in small steps how this is done. Okay, if you want to have an own action that you can execute in the context menu for Xstep repository objects like standard Xsteps, Xstep folders, or SXS versions, then you have to first define a so-called business transaction for your customer action. I will show you how this transaction looks like in detail. So there you just define the technical key and the description for the custom action. The description for this custom action will then appear in the context menu entry. You can also define business transaction that have an influence on the status of some objects. The only objects where we have more detailed status handling is the Xstep SXS version. And here you can also define business transactions that allow or prevent setting a distinct status. But we won't cover this in detail in this section. The next thing, or the next step, is that you create a body implementation, which is not that complex in our sample implementation. Here we will just see a so-called implementing class. We implement the method that which this body has, and here we just implement two methods. One is called onActionSelect, and the other is called onActionExecute. And this is all that we will have to consider at this point in time. What I would like to have, show as an example is, say, an additional variety of the famous where used list, where you can search which routing, which order, which standard Xstep tree has referenced a distinct standard Xstep. And let's say one of the disadvantages of the SAP standard where used list for the standard Xsteps is that it really searches for all objects. So this means if you have a lot of SXS references in orders, you have a lot of SXS references in routings, in master recipes, or in the Xstep repository itself, then this could really cause enormous run times. In the past, we spent, let's say, some thoughts and some ideas on how we can improve this where used list functionality. And what you see here, these are 3 nodes, quite elder nodes, where we enhance the logic of the where used list to prevent runtime errors. The most important one is the last one here on the list. It's 1548590. Could be that most of you have this correction already in the system. And the other ones are, let's say, follow-up corrections concerning this enhanced SXS where used list. What I'll show you in the example, if we implement the body, is a where used list that allows you, a where used search that allows you to search for SXS references in orders. So it won't cover or won't search for SXS references in the Xstep repository, and it won't also search for SXS references in routings. The big advantage for the implementation that I want to show you is that these 3 nodes are implemented, and most of you might already have the enhanced SXS where used list. That allows faster searching for reference standard Xstep nodes in routings, orders, and the Xstep repository itself. Okay, I just want to speed up a little bit. So the main purpose, what I would like just to show, so. Okay, I will kick me out of the system. So first of all, most of you are familiar with this transaction, I hope. The famous Xstep repository. And if you just mark this standard Xstep here and click the right mouse button, then the context menu appears. And what you're all familiar with is, or are the actions and the commands that are listed here in. Where used list is just the example where we just talked about. I will just execute it. And what you see here, hopefully in the lower part of the screen, is the result of the where used list. Okay, we see this standard Xstep is referenced in this master recipe, routed tab 2, and in some orders. Okay, if I just execute the context menu again, then you see an additional section which shows additional activities. This submenu is always shown if you implement your own actions for the context menu. And here's something that is called custom where used list. And if I just click execute this entry, then you see, okay, it just checks for the manufacturing orders, so here for the process orders, that contain SXS reference nodes that are linked to the standard Xstep. And there's no search for standard Xsteps that are used in routings and in the Xstep repository here itself. Okay, how can we do this? So the first thing that I would just wanted to show is the transaction, one of the basis transaction. Oh, sorry. This is for the object type, the wrong one. We don't need this at all. And here is the transaction that it's named transactions, but they are not transactions like CO60. These are the so-called business transactions or activities. Yes?
Could you enable that you see the transaction code on the lower right side there? No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great.
So, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, this might sound a little bit confusing, but these are the so-called business transactions. Activities that we also already defined for Xsteps. So if we just want to see them, just put in an X here. And here are the also business transactions like setting the Xstep tree into the edit mode. Here creating control recipes for testing, SXS version release for tests. And also here the way used list, which is assigned to this business transaction. And the one that I defined has this business transaction code, ZXSW, and the name is custom way used list. This is also the name of the context menu entry that you saw here. There are some checkboxes for usage of such a business transaction in status management and the possibility that you can create change user statuses on this. In addition to this session, I will provide a small document on the SAP community network that describes also the main steps, and that also contains the coding parts that I'm going to show you. So you then can just try this out and download the document and copy the coding in your customer namespace and play a little bit around with that. So this is one step that you have to do in advance before we are going to implement our custom action. And the next one is the maintenance action. If we just check it for the so-called business add-ins. And perhaps you know we have the old ones that are not kernel-based, which we mostly use in the Xstep environment. And we have the newer ones that are defined using so-called enhancement spots. Here, this body is an old one, and if we can just display it, then you also see we have the package with the possibility that is possible to use this multiple times, so you can have more than one implementation. We'll have an interface where we have also defined methods that we are going to implement, and the important one, this body is documented. So hope you can see the pop-up screen that contains the documentation for the body. And it also shows you that with the help of this body, you can also remove actions from the context menu. And what I just want you to show is that you add another specific action to the context menu. And here are let's say short descriptions of the methods, at which point in time the method is called, and it also allows you then to trigger follow-up activities or trigger, at least if your action is cancelled and not executed, how the system then should behave, what follow-up actions then should be taken by the system. So this is something where only a few people stumbled over, and to dig a little bit more deeper, I just show you the implementation that I created. So normally, if you create the implementation for this body the first time, you would start transaction SE19 or use the object navigator SE80, and here choose the body name, the classical body one, and push this button to create your own implementation. So here I just created one that I would just want to show you. If somebody of you is familiar with implementing bodies, then you see also the most important thing here is the implementation is called if everything is fine. And here we got a created implementation in a local package. And also, which is necessary, is that you implement the body and the interface methods in the implementing class that I will just navigate to. And the most important, well, the methods that I prepared are, I think, one action select, hopefully. So a tiny little bit of coding. And here I just want to make sure that this action that is makes only sense for standard Xsteps isn't executed for SXS folders, because there we don't have a where used list. And so this is just coded in this statement. And if the node type, this is the marked node in the Xstep repository, the object, if this is a standard Xstep, then this action is added. And this action is also possible to be executed. And also this action appears in the list of context menu actions for the standard Xsteps. This is only what you saw. I'll just put a breakpoint in here. And so I'll just open this. And I think the next one is there where the logic takes place. So this might also be interesting for all of you who want to use objects that are hidden by the local classes in the standard Xstep coding. And so we just briefly go through the method, what it does. So what we would like to do is we would like first to execute the where used list search. And then also, after we got search results, then we would like to reuse the result list ALV grid in the Xstep editor UI to display our results. And what we just need is then that we get at least the actual current instance of the Xstep editor. We then do something that we require to allow triggering this action. And what's important to know, we want to restrict our where used list search. And here I introduced the possibility that you steer which objects should be searched by these so-called request parameters. And currently we have, also in the notes that I previously showed you, the naming of the parameters. In our case, I will just search for manufacturing orders, MOR. But if you want to have, let's say, a custom where used list search for master recipes, we then would just transfer or evaluate this request parameter with MRC and so on. And also some additional stuff here, a so-called plugin namespace. And the only thing that is executed is this so-called do command, and heads over the request, and then the complete standard logic for the where used search is executed. And this is also the optimized part of the where used search. So just to show you again how this works. Go to the Xstep repository, open the folder, mark the standard Xstep, which you saw I just marked it, and we saw here, I think it's later on the node type. And we have the addition of this action. We put the action state in here and insert it into the table that contains all of the actions. Just over here, the technical code for the action. If you want to identify at least what these actions stand for, then you can have a look at the transaction BS32. Arne, did you lost me?
Hi, Uwe. No, that was just a participant joining.
Oh, okay, so great. Okay, so we just added this custom action to the context menu. So this is the problem where I have to remove, I think, this breakpoint, because I'm not able to execute this action. So again, one step back. So this is one major disadvantage if you do this in that way. I think because you won't get the context menu entry. So we did an action select, I think. We'll just remove it. So delete my external breakpoint. And again, sorry. And start it again. So pressed the right mouse button to get the context menu entry. I just choose the customer use list, and then the next breakpoint gets active. And you see here that we are in the method on action execute. So I chose this action, and also here the type of the node that I marked is the type for the standard Xstep item, and also the action is this one, a custom action. And then if we just briefly go through the coding, debugging here, we then do the command. So I will then also just quickly skip through it. Here's also introduced coding where we just get enter the parameter, this MOR parameter, and get back the Xstep application where we would like to search for. So here the filter is we just search for manufacturing orders. Then what you see here, we are deeply inside the standard coding. We get the by use list, transfer the application filter. So I just don't want to bore you with standard coding. So here we got the result list with some entries. And also here the icon is we only have the manufacturing order entries, and it then will also return the data of the manufacturing orders. And if I just close the debugger session, you see here also the columns for data that is specific for master recipes or standard Xsteps that are used in the standard Xstep repository. They are automatically hidden. And if you have a lot of data sets in master recipes, and these data sets won't be searched. So in brief, this is the possibility for you to extend your standard functionality. There's one thing where we don't have also the possibility, though we have similar UIs and similar Xstep editor maintenance views, in maintenance screens, in master recipes and orders. This body that I just showed you isn't implemented to be used also for custom actions. So this is only something that you can use within the standard Xstep repository. But I think this might also be your favorite choice if you want to add specific functions that are important for your users. And as said before, you can also hide some of the standard actions and commands here with the help of the body. Perhaps you can also then inactivate this export standard Xstep if you just want, based on authorizations of your user. If you don't want that they are able to download the standard Xsteps, the other Xstep objects as XML files. So this is something that we had foreseen a long time ago, and I thought it might be worth also to share this information to you. So, quick deep run in the coding of the Xsteps. Any questions? So if there are no questions, then I would like to hand over to Arne back again.
Thanks a lot, Uwe. Again, quite technical topic, but that's Uwe's job, being developer and architect. So now let's, if there are really no questions on this,
Yep. Hi, this is, my name is Chandra. I have one question. Is there ability to add custom applications like MR, MRC that you mentioned?
So custom application, don't know if you get you right. So this body isn't available in the Xstep editors that are available for master recipes, routings, and manufacturing orders. So it's only available for the Xstep editor that is implemented for the standard Xstep repository.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's the limitation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions on this topic?
Hello. Sorry, I'm Vicente Sambic. Just a question. That same enhancement could be used to enhance the browser, the PI browser?
No. PI sheet itself, the browser in which the PI sheet is displayed is this HTML control, and what you see here is a classical screen. So this means Dyn Pro, and this body also would not affect the look and feel of the PI sheet, and also the commands. Yeah. So this is differently implemented.
Okay. Many thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Seems there are no other questions on this topic, so I'll open it up for general questions, and I think Sue has one. So Sue, now you can stop holding your breath and go ahead.
Yes, this is Sue Roshan. I have a question about connecting PI sheets to the QM module. We are currently implementing the QM module here, and we want to integrate it for in-process testing through our PI sheets. And I have looked at the documentation and have got it working to the extent that it's creating, at least the documentation told me I should use the PI_QM SMR process message to record results to the inspection lot. And I have those messages generating and sending successfully. However, they don't update my inspection lot. So I didn't know if that was what I should really use, or is that really what I should be using, or something else?
Yeah, I have the answer on this.
Okay.
I had the
and I
same
looked at the
issue.
cafe forum to see if it was there, but I didn't see it. So.
I had the same issue with another customer who had the same question. So I asked, that time I asked the colleagues from QM, and they said that works as designed because they wanted a safeguarding mechanism between that entry from somebody in the PI sheet to the actual inspection lot. So what happens that in the inspection lot there is then in a menu entry somewhere, don't ask me now where, but there is a topic or a menu entry called process messages or something like that.
In the inspection lot itself?
Yes, somewhere there. And then sort of you can take those values and sort of copy them then into the inspection lot. So that's sort of a two-step reporting for QM. So that works as designed. However, I know that when we had that other customer, they've custom built an own process message, which just wrote it directly into the inspection lot with no further intermediate step. Yeah? But that would mean building your own process message.
And so how did they get it to go through that safeguard? Did they use a different cookie function module for that message?
Not quite sure.
Okay, because I would think that they would have to modify that.
Yes, exactly. So you would have to look into that in more detail, and I really can't tell you exactly how that worked that time.
Okay.
I know it's a little bit odd, and when I first saw this first time, I thought, well, this cannot be right. But then the colleague said that's how they designed it.
Okay, so if I have somebody look at that function module, I could probably figure that out then.
Yeah, probably, and probably there's some other function module you can use to create your own process message category there, and use the function module, which then calls some other BAPIs or something, which may do the trick. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Glad I could help after such a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's all, SAP. It's an integrated system, so we're always trying to connect things, and so sometimes the connections are a little difficult to figure out. Yes.
Sometimes you see very clearly that there were borders around these modules. So exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, this is a question on the topic of baddies, right? So we know that in PP we can assign standard Xsteps at a production scheduler profile level, but in PPPI I think it's not supported. So any developments on that, or any baddies that we can use to generate Xsteps in a PPPI environment without manually assigning, but by using some reference from the repository?
Uwe, do you know that?
Let's say the idea of assigning standard Xsteps to the production scheduler profile, let's say, was at least a temporary solution, because during my first development assignment of the Xstep functionality to orders, we did make much progress on the production order side, but not, at least on the the process order side, but no progress on the production order technology. And therefore, let's say the quick idea was to allow at least to assign those standard Xsteps to the production scheduler profile. I don't know if it's possible to open up this transaction also for process orders. I haven't also heard of any development that is going into this direction. Might be that it's only to, let's say, maintain the settings in the customizing, but I don't know if what the colleagues did to prevent that you can assign those standard Xsteps to production order profiles, or those profiles that don't belong to production orders. So it could be that it's that easy, but I haven't seen this or haven't tried this out in detail. So also our impression was that at least this solution doesn't make not that big sense, because we first thought that you always need the context information, so the information about the operation and the phases and the header to create Xstep tree with usable content. But at least during the last years, there are more and more people also in the discrete industry that use exactly this possibility of assigning standard Xsteps to the production scheduler profile. On the one hand, it makes it easier for you to maintain. You don't have to maintain a lot of routings.
Right.
And you can, if you change it in one place, in the standard Xsteps, then also this affects all of the production orders that contain the same production scheduling profile. So that's quite an advantage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What I can do, I can just try to have a glimpse of a view through the coding, and also ask one of the two colleagues that built this stuff, and then come up with, say, some reply in the next XStepCafe that we have in about 2 months.
Or you
it's okay
can
for you.
Write a blog entry, because you also remember. Maybe that's also something for custom development, if that's needed. So might be also a possibility.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. No other questions. So, since it's very hot here in Germany, it's not. I don't mind quitting earlier, but if you want. Okay. Seems not to be the case. Right, then we finish up, and thanks a lot for joining us here, keeping it up for this long time, and I try to make another session in about 2 months time frame. I will set the date on the blog page again, as usual, and I will try to continue also this notification via email up front, which seems to be working quite nice. Okay, so then have all a nice day to you all, and goodbye.
So, sorry, before you finish up, is there like any new documentation on PCO 2.3?
Okay, I'm not sure. Do you know? Maybe
on Pico 2.3, I think there should be at least something available on the SAP